1, 2.
I am here out at Canterbury Caravans in Victoria. I'm with James Field. He is the Chief Technical Officer of the Caravan Industry Association of Australia. Now, James, one of the hottest topics when it comes to caravanning, one of the biggest points of debate around any campfire has got to be to do with weights and ratings of vans. What can you tell us?
It definitely is, and it's definitely one of the most important aspects of caravanning in particular. Now, what we need to do first of all is all of that key information is on our vehicle plate, or what most people will call the compliance plate or the VIN plate. So the key rating we need to look at on there is the ATM rating. Now, the ATM rating is the maximum weight that you can legally and safely take that product up to. Now, other key elements of information on those plates will be your Terre Mass. Now, technically speaking, Terre Mass doesn't have to be listed on the vehicle plate. Having said that, 90% of manufacturers will list the Terre Mass on their vehicle plate. So
it actually doesn't have to be there?
Not at the moment, no.
Okay.
The Australian design rules don't legally make you put a Terre Mass on a trailer plate or a vehicle plate on a trailer.
Okay.
But having said that, as I said, most do. It's one of those key data sets that we want to see on a vehicle plate, because when we look at the ATM rating, we look at the Terre Mass, we subtract the ATM rating minus the Terre Mass is obviously your available payload. So that's incredibly important for us to know, to then figure out as a user of the product, how much can I load into my caravan? Now that includes filling our gas cylinders up, putting all our water in our water tanks. It's those cartons of beer, it's filling the fridge, it's the clothes, it's everything that you're taking on that journey. You want to make sure you're not exceeding those critical ratings, such as the ATM rating. So Terre Mass is the product as manufactured, when it leaves the manufacturing facility, with all of the features and accessories that were put into it as it was manufactured, but it doesn't include the water tanks full or the gas cylinders full. I'd like to try and highlight the fact that Terre Mass is a mass, an actual value or an actual weight, whereas GTM and ATM are a rating. So that's something you cannot exceed. It's not an absolute. So it's very, very important. It's something that people get confused a lot. So if we can just keep in mind, so Terre Mass is physically, that's a weight. It's the Terre Mass, it's what it weighs. The difference between GTM and ATM is effectively the ball load, not necessarily a Terre, but operationally. Now, ATM rating is as heavy as the product can be, including the load on the ball or the coupling, with the maximum payload distributed evenly. Same as the GTM. The GTM is the maximum load transferred through the axle group, or essentially the tyres, to the ground, with that maximum payload evenly distributed over the load-bearing area.
What about your ball weight? Most manufacturers will note an unladen ball weight figure on the vehicle plate.
Yes, so that's really important, and this also causes some confusion. This is around education more than anything. So the plates will usually also list, and sometimes they might even only say ball weight. Now, 9 times out of 10, and I'm generalizing here, that will be your ball weight at Terre, so at time of manufacture. We don't want to get that confused as a rating that we don't want to exceed, because in effect, if you're doing that, you're going to be trying to tow your laden product with a ball load at Terre, which is not what it's designed for. So keep that in mind. Usually, generally speaking, the ball load or the ball mass on the plate will be at Terre, so as manufactured. And then that gives you, I guess, a marker or a line in the sand, knowing that's what it was. And then you would then expect that to proportionally increase when you then put load into the caravan. So tire pressure is recommended, whether or not it's actually incorporated into the vehicle plate, which most caravan and towable manufacturers within their vehicle plate will have the tire information and the trailer information. You can technically have a separate tire placard if you'd like. But on there you'll have, as you said, tyre pressures, you'll have tyre load rating, you also have the tyre speed rating. But tyre pressures are very, very important. That's one of the key factors when we're looking at towing safely, stability, all those kind of things. And that's the responsibility, much like your motor vehicle, you want to be checking those tyre pressures regularly, and you may be required, and this will be detailed on the vehicle plate or in your owner's manual, you may be required to change those pressures depending on whether you're operating the product at full ATM or full rating, or you're towing it proportionally less. Also, if you're using it for off-road use or something like that, there may be some specific tyre pressure guidance from the manufacturer in the owner's manual on the plate in terms of operating it in those conditions as well. So summing up, vehicle plate, let's find it. Be on the jaw bar or potentially in the front tunnel boot there. Let's look for those key elements on there, such as the ATM rating, the GTM rating, and the Terre Mass. Let's also try and understand the tyre pressures and the operating pressures. As the user of the product, recommend that you guys go and weigh this product regularly. So public weigh bridges, there's companies out there now that come out and do mobile weighing. Let's check in every now and then, and as you set your product up, let's do a reality check and figure out how much am I actually putting in there, how much does it weigh, and not just that, let's consider the entire setup as well.